What was it that you think drew you towards, like, the law enforcement side?
I had an incredible social worker when I was really little. She's the one that actually like introduced me to my dad for the first time, like in the health and welfare office I think I was like 7 when I met him the first time. She just cared deeply about my sisters and about me, and she also cared about my mom. Like the one thing that I that I remembered about her was that she never like spoke ill of my mom. And even though I was really little, like I knew that my mom was doing some really bad things. I know that like this woman could have said some pretty harsh but also true things about my mom, but she never did. She was kind to my mom. She did everything she could to help her, and she loved my sisters and I. And so that was a part of it. And then so from like 7 to 14, when I went to live with my mom, I had absolutely no contact with her. To this day, I don't really know where she was at. I know she was like in prison part of that time, but I don't really know where she was at. And so there was always kind of this part of me as a little girl that it sounds kind of silly, but that felt like if I was like a cop, like worked for like the DEA, that I might be able to find my mom because I didn't know where she was at. So I think that that's kind of the two reasons that it started. Was I wanted to sort of emulate what this social worker gave to me when I was really little, but also I convinced myself that if I worked in law enforcement, I'd be able to find my mom, and then I could like have a mom, you know? Because
Yeah.
I didn't when I was a kid, and I think that that's really hard on a little kid. Because like I said, I had already had so much trauma by the time I met my dad, and then it was just compounded on top of that from trauma from my dad. I just I was a very broken little girl, a very scared little girl, lonely, like you said. And I would have given anything to just have my mom in my life during that time. So yeah, oddly enough, that's why I wanted to go into law enforcement. So